There's no news of the US having more stimulus when it comes to their economy. There's no real concrete plan yet from the US government on how they're gonna curb this problem on inflation. So unless there are news about these things that are good, I am not keen on investing. So if only I knew that earlier, I could have saved money. I could have pulled out my investment earlier. I guess in hindsight, the biggest lesson I learned is how not to invest again.
Hi guys, so we're with Sean C, entrepreneur. But what I want to talk about, something very interesting, something very personal also for Sean C. Over the past few years, we have been dabbling into stocks and crypto. I want to talk about what's your biggest learning, especially right now that walang takas eh. Philippine stocks are down, US stocks are down, crypto is down, NFTs are down also. Did it ever come to your mind na kung nilagay ko na lang itong pera doon sa negosyo ko, it might have been a better outcome for me. So, key learning from an entrepreneur na naging investor at a time where the market is bearish?
I guess I'm just like everyone else, no? Yeah, even for me, a lot of my investments are down and I pulled out what I could pull out, although I argue I pulled out too late. Pag nilagay ko siya sa business, I didn't really think of that because my business SEO Hacker, it's not like naman na parang if I put more money into it, it's gonna generate more money. Kasi we're a services company. We're not a buy and sell or a trading or a merchandising company na I'll just buy more items and sell more items. I can't do that. I can't hire more people and sell more people, right? So in SEO Hacker, we need to train people, we need to train them about leadership, management, the hard skills, SEO, writing, link building. So it's not like I could just roll the money in it. So hindi yun pumasok sa isip ko. But ang pumasok sa isip ko is I could have used that money to pay some of my loans. I bought land and I loaned it because I couldn't buy it cash. So now that interest rates are going up, yun yung naisip ko na sana pinambayad ko na lang dun sa loan.
When everyone invests, parang they're optimistic na kaya ako lalagay yung pera dito because it could give me either cash flow or it could give me also growth. What's the biggest learning that you've seen na parang we talk about the Philippine stock market na, oh, it's investing in the Philippine economy. Kung hindi maganda yung Philippine economy, pwede ka mag-invest sa US markets, pero the US markets are also down right now. Then we're talking about the crypto market now. It's a new asset class, it's game-changing technology, pero all of them are down.
I just learned from the timing. I watched a lot of Ray Dalio videos and I'm trying to finish his very thick book, Principles. And I learned there talaga na if only I read earlier and if only I watched his videos earlier, I could have invested better, smarter, and in the right time. Na pag nagpa-print ng pera yung current world order na leader, like it's US, right? Stocks are all going up. Every investment is gonna boom, and that's the time to come in. And the whiplash effect of that, which will come sooner than later, is inflation and markets crashing. So if only I knew that earlier, I could have saved money. I could have pulled out my investment earlier. I guess in hindsight, the biggest lesson I learned is how not to invest again. So hopefully in the next wave that's going to come na parang ganito din, may big volatility yung market because of world economy, wars, printing of cash due to a pandemic or a crisis, mas ready na ako. For me, yun ang pinaka-big takeaway ko. Marami naman akong in-invest dahil nag-invest ng sobrang laki lang si Mar. Sumunod lang ako sa kanya.
Okay, pero dito ako curious na when you're talking about all of this na, okay, it's a cycle. Down ngayon because the US government is trying to tighten it. Pero since nagta-tighten yung US government, everything is down, isn't it worth considering also na kung cycle siya, ngayon yung mura, by the time they start printing again, markets are higher. Do you see this time as a time that you would position right now? Or are you the type of person na I'll wait for it first to actually happen, tapos na yung nag-print na sila ulit, interest rates are low again, before I will come in? So I guess my question is, are you more aggressive in buying now or are you in wait and see mode?
It wasn't as low as the start of the pandemic. This is just my opinion. I'm not as good as, like, for example, Marvin. This is what he does every day. He studies this. I'm not.
Then I'm a father na, so
I'm
I,
not.
I study my daughter na.
So, but I mean, ang layo pa rin namin. So ako, I don't focus on these things. But what I know is the market's lowest was during the first 3 months of the pandemic, which is March, April, May 2020. And it hasn't even hit those levels yet. Still, the war in Russia and Ukraine is ongoing. Still, inflation is getting higher. It's not slowing down. There's no news of the US having more stimulus when it comes to their economy. There's no real concrete plan yet from the US government on how they're gonna curb this problem on inflation. So, unless there are news about these things that are good, I am not keen on investing.
High inflation right now, does that concern you, yes or no?
Yes, because as a leader, I am concerned about my people, first and foremost, my employees in the team. And I want to make sure, one of our purpose statements is to make sure that they are able to provide a good livelihood for themselves and their family. And we uphold that purpose statement. So what we're doing right now is we're actually adjusting their salaries, especially those who are on the lower bracket of the salaries. We're actually adjusting those salaries for them. If the inflation rate goes higher, I'm going to have to adjust it again. What does that mean? That means for me as a business owner, the company makes a lot less. Kasi when you increase the salaries of your employees, of course, yung take home ng company, your bottom line is gonna be a lot less. So the growth of the company will slow down because rather than that extra money being invested into expansion and marketing and advertising, you can't. Now it's going to the employees, which is not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. But there is that notion of why am I going to be doing the business and expanding more if I'm going to make less naman? That's always going to be the lingering question for a lot of business owners right now.
When inflation is higher also, gas prices are relatively high, and the dollar is also high. Do you see this as a trend that it's gonna continue to go up also? And in your own personal finances, what are you doing? Are you saving more now? Are you spending less? Or the way you spend, pareho pa rin? Or are you also, you mentioned earlier, you're not investing as much kasi you're waiting for things to get better?
We're increasing our price in SEO Hacker. So we just increase our price because it makes sense to increase price. Everything's increasing. We're also increasing our SEO rate, and we're also expanding. We're looking at expanding to other countries now where we don't have to do night shift. So we're not expanding to the US because I don't want to open a night shift team here in the Philippines. Nothing against night shifts here, but I'm not for it. I don't want to manage a night shift team. I don't want to impose that on some of our citizens. For me, it's more of opening SEO Hacker branches, sales and accounts management branches in other countries. Also one thing that we're doing right now. We're planning it. We're not yet there, but we're planning it. I am not investing, but I am trying to zero the loan that I have. So I started that loan just last year. It's still substantial. The main thing for me now is to attack that loan until I pay it all off, because if the interest rates increase next year, I don't want to be at the tail end of that, at the receiving end of that. I'm not being a good steward, you know. I'm a Christian. I'm not being a good steward of God's money and resources if I don't attack this loan. Another thing that I'm doing is making sure that I don't increase my lifestyle. However I'm living right now, where I live, everything I own, whatever it is the same. I'm not increasing my lifestyle. I'm living below my means. I'm saving a lot. I guess that's going to be the way to go right now during this uncertain times in finances of our world today.
What's interesting there though is parang there's a stark contrast also. You're not investing pero your business is expanding and increasing. So, iba rin talaga mindset pag entrepreneur. Iba if you control the business because you can do whatever you want also to somehow maximize that situation. Pag investor ka, you can't do that eh. To add also, expansion guys, abangan nyo, SEO Hackers Spain, Barcelona. Okay, so what I got from this also is that in spite of what's going on, there's still a lot of opportunity around. And if there's not opportunity coming your way also, there's a lot of ways also on how you can be frugal to budget what you have, that you don't have to be a victim while all of this is going on. So that's it. If you guys have any questions, put it down below and we'll try to make a video on top of the questions that you have. And if you stayed up until this time, appreciate it if you could press the like button. or you can subscribe, you can share the video. And if you want more of Sean, I'll put links in the description below on how you can watch more of his videos or at least get in touch with him, especially if you're from Barcelona, Spain. So that's it for now. I hope this video helps you trade well, trade strong, trade smart. Thank you so much,
Thanks
Sean.
guys.
See you all again soon.
Kasama ko si Marvin ngayon.
Joke.
Bira lang kami magkasama.
Teka lang.